So, have you ever asked yourself the question, what could a company do to take a, say, I don't know, close to 25-year-old game and somehow completely mess it up after re-releasing it? I've never actually asked that question either, but luckily for us, Bethesda has given us that answer. So, what happened? I'm sure you probably already heard about it because it's old news at this point, a few days old actually. But I'm just getting around to talking about it. Bethesda has re-released Doom 1, 2, and 3 for the Switch. And, hearing about that, most people are just like, oh, sweet, Doom on the Switch. That's awesome. We had Doom on the Super Nintendo too. Just to let you know. Anyway, but yeah, Doom on the Switch. That's pretty cool. That's pretty great. That's awesome. With one exception. This idea of needing to log into a Bethesda account? Like, seriously? Bethesda, you got one job. One job. You're going to take a game that is like 90s old and port it to a system that is currently out. There are ways to go about doing this. Really, really easy, simple ways of doing this. I actually did it a few days ago where I decided to stream some Doom 2. Getting this game to run on things, it's not hard. However, they had to take it a step backwards, and, plague us here. What we deal with here in the PC world is DRM. This idea of always being online, having to have an active internet connection, which I guess, the console people out there are starting to find out how that works. But essentially, here we go. We've got this thing. Doom 3. 1993's Doom requires a Bethesda account to play on the Switch. Quickly becomes an internet joke, which of course has been updated because there is some updated news to this that happened really quickly, to be totally honest, before I got a chance to talk about it, so I guess we'll go over all of it. But today, Bethesda announced that the first 3 Doom games will be coming to the modern consoles, including Nintendo Switch. What Bethesda didn't mention that was you need to first create a Bethesda Net account in order to play them. And I'm not going to lie, the first time I saw BNet, as it's being referenced in places, I immediately think BattleNet, because that's what I did. World of Warcraft, Warcraft 2, things like that. Diablo required a BattleNet. Anyway, so if I say BattleNet, that's why. It's Bethesda Net. But anyway, so Reset Error, pointed out the requirement on Twitter earlier this afternoon. While Doom 1 and Doom 2 only require you to log into the Bethesda account only once, supposedly only once, to unlock the game, Doom 3 will require it every time you play in order for all of the features and content to be available, which I want to yell BS at this point. Look, Bethesda. Oh my gosh, Bethesda. Look, you have dealt with a lot of crap recently. I'm not gonna lie. You went from one of the more trusted gaming developers, right? One that people would fight to the death for. Over, regardless of how buggy your games are, because the modders make it better. And, it's a huge undertaking, and we can make excuses after excuses after excuses, and then 76 happened. And everything that happened with 76, your credibility, your faith, the faith customers had in you have been destroyed at this point. The last thing you really needed to do was tick them off even more. And forcing them to log in and create a BNet account in order for them to play a game from 93 is a bit on the ridiculous side. And that's not even all of it either. I mean, they couldn't even use a decent emulator. Well, I mean, I guess, Unity is somewhat decent, but point is, it's just weird. It's this whole thing is just odd, and it's out there. It's like, why? What is the point of that? My guess as to why they really, really want your details is so they can market to you. And like I said, 76 didn't do so hot. It's not going the way they planned it to go. It's got issues. It still has issues. I mean, seriously, you've got a game that you've made purposely multiplayer with single player functionality in it, not even optimized for multiplayer, and you've taken and stripped everything that made the games worth playing to begin with completely out, just so people can have multiplayer. If you like it, whatever, that's fine. That's your thing. It's stupid. What people really wanted was to log into Skyrim or Fallout 4 or something, click the multiplayer button, and join somebody's world or something like that, and go rampaging super mutants and stuff like that. That's what people wanted. But I digress. Anyway, so let's look at some things here. This I thought was pretty great to look at. Let me swap that real quick. But if you think it couldn't get any worse, let's play some Doom. This is exactly how DRM works, by the way. A game that wasn't online, didn't have a connection, maybe, I don't really quite remember, had local multiplayer that you could set up through a LAN or whatever. But seriously, getting told that you're being disconnected or something, unavailable, some network features will be unavailable or something, that is just asinine. There are no network features to it unless you decided to add multiplayer to the game, which could be a thing. I mean, honestly, if you wanted to do something, do that. I don't know if they did or not. I mean, it's not like I haven't seen that happen before in other games. But it also is apparently running on a trial version of Unity for whatever reason. At least I heard it was Unity, and I forgot to look that up. It was Unity, right? Anyway, they apparently, I guess, ported it from an unlicensed version of Unity. I don't know. I'm not sure what they were thinking, because there are other things you can do. Like, literally, other ways that you can go about doing this. I mean, you can just see how people are kind of like, really? The ultimate oof. That's good. Anyway. You want to run Doom? Let's run Doom for a second. Let's look up Doom. Not on the Switch. Doom DOS box. There we go. We can do that. You can do it through DOSBox. That's a way to do it. You can run it that way. That search result history, because I was looking up random things for something else. Anyway, Doom Retro. There's another thing. This one here. I mean, you can do that. You've got ways to emulate this game, right? Really easily, and set it up to play it out there for everybody. Anyway. All that stuff aside, the online portion, that aside, which is stupid, apparently Bethesda has decided they will be removing the online requirement from Doom's re-release. Another side note, apparently, I guess on the Microsoft Store or something, the Doom had already been there at one point in time, right? For you to get on and, download and stuff. Got taken off the store right after it relaunched. With all this crazy login stuff. And then I guess it came back up. Microsoft came out and was like, hey, sorry, there was an issue. Honestly, I do believe that was probably Bethesda saying, take it down so we can replace it with this one that forces you to log in. But that's another story for something else. Anyway, Bethesda has updated their little thing. Update on the new classic Doom release. The Bethesda Net login requirement was included for the Slayers Club, the reward members for playing the classic Doom games. The login should be optional, and we are working to change the requirements to optional now. We're working on changing the requirements to optional now. Yeah. It was an optional login. You didn't have to. Okay. Hey. So you boot up a game, and the game says, by the way, in order to continue, you need to log in with this ID. The Bethesda Net ID account or something. You need an account to log in and continue the game. Does that sound optional to you? No. That is, if you don't make a login, you can't play the game that you just purchased. Anyway, before I go on a tangent with that, that's exactly what it sounds like to me. What it is they've had a massive backlash, rightfully so, to be honest. They became the butt of the internet for quite a few days after this, which, isn't, anything abnormal for Bethesda now. But, so they have decided that they're going to take it out. No timeline was given on the requirements would be removed. Bethesda says it takes update everyone when a fix is ready. Game publishers have long had a history of frustrating players with digital rights management, or DRM, restrictions in an attempt to protect games from piracy. Those restrictions have often gone too far, preventing players from transferring games between devices in reasonable ways, or even just cutting off access when the internet is down. The addition of a login requirement to Bethesda Net appears to act as another form of DRM. Yes. Whether that was intentional or not, clearly it was. Clearly Bethesda got the message that it went a little too far in modifying decade-old games. No freaking kidding. The Doom re-release are out for Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. I own Doom in multiple locations. I have the original game somewhere. Couldn't tell you where it is. I've got it on Steam. I've got it on the Super. I've got the emulator for the Super. I've got Doom on my computer right now. I've got it through DOSBox. I've got it through the Doom Retro thing. Also, I bought it through Steam at some point in time. I've got Doom in a lot of locations. It's on my PS3, I think. And, Anyway, it wasn't hard for all the previous times for me to acquire Doom for it to work and function properly, okay? Bethesda, on the other hand, that's when they mess it up good. And I think the best part about this is the whole memes that come out of it, like this one here. A Bethesda Net account is required to play this title. Please connect to the internet to continue. Okay, Super Mario. Oh, Castlevania. Dracula. A Bethesda.net account is required to play. Please connect to the internet to continue. This one. This is great. Let's look at that. Banjo-Kazooie, anybody? How much would you hate this? A Bethesda.net account is required to play this title. Please connect to the internet to continue. I mean, come on, we're talking about games that didn't have access to the internet to begin with, and you're gonna force us. Thank you, Mario, but the Bethesda Net account is required to play this title. Please connect to the internet. Good morning, grown-up Bethesda. Oh, gosh. Alright, enough of that. Oh, that's just lovely. Anyway, we'll leave it here. Taking a decade-old game, games that didn't even have internet access to begin with, and then forcing you to have an internet access to play them is a load of crock. I mean, seriously, I don't know who is willing to do that. It made waves when SimCity 5 had DRM. It made waves when other games that were single-player had DRM for no reason whatsoever. People are going to complain about it, and people aren't going to buy your product as a result. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.